Hello and welcome to English Earwaves, the podcast that helps you navigate everyday situations in English. I'm your host, Anna.
And I'm Ben. It's great to be here. So Anna, what journey are we taking our listeners on today?
Today we're talking about a very common way to get around a city, taking a taxi or a rideshare. Whether you're late for a meeting, going to the airport, or just want to get home safely at night, knowing how to do this is a vital skill.
It really is, and it can be a bit nerve-wracking. You have to talk to the driver, give directions, and handle the payment. And now, with apps like Uber and Lyft, there's a whole new set of words and steps to learn.
Exactly. Our goal today is to make this entire process simple and clear. We will cover both traditional taxis and modern rideshare apps. We'll give you the exact phrases and vocabulary you need to get from point A to point B, smoothly and with confidence.
I'm ready to hit the road. Where should we start? With the classic yellow cab?
Let's do it. Let's start with how to get a traditional taxi. Okay, so a taxi, which is also commonly called a cab, is a car you hire for a ride. How do I get one? There are two main ways. The first way is to go to a taxi stand, which is a special place where many taxis line up and wait for passengers. You'll often find these at airports, train stations, and big hotels. In the UK, this is called a taxi rank.
So you just go to the front of the line and take the first available taxi. That sounds easy. What's the second way?
The second way is more famous from the movies. You hail a taxi on the street. To hail means to raise your arm to signal to a taxi driver that you want them to stop for you.
So I just stand on the side of the road and stick my arm out.
Exactly. You should look for a taxi that has its light on top turned on. This usually means it is vacant or empty and available to pick someone up.
Okay, a taxi has stopped for me. I open the back door and get in. What is the first thing I should say to the driver?
The first thing you need to do is tell the driver your destination, which is the place you want to go. The most common and polite way to do this is to say, "Could you take me to your destination, please?" For example, "Could you take me to the Grand Hotel, please?" Or, "Could you take me to 25 Maple Street, please?"
And how does the driver know how much I have to pay?
This is a very important part of taking a traditional taxi. The car will have a special device called a meter. The meter is a machine that calculates the price of the ride based on the distance you travel and the time it takes. You will see the numbers on the meter go up during the ride.
So the final price is whatever the meter says at the end of the trip.
That's right. You should always make sure the driver starts the meter at the beginning of the ride. Now, let's talk about the modern way to get a ride, using a rideshare app.
Rideshare. This word means you are sharing a ride. These are apps on your phone like Uber, Lyft, or Grab.
Exactly. The process is very different from hailing a taxi. First, you open the app on your phone. The app will use your GPS to find your pickup location, which is where you are right now.
And then I have to type in where I want to go, right?
Yes, you type your destination into the app. Before you even book the ride, the app will show you a fare estimate. An estimate is not the exact final price, but it's a very close guess of how much the ride will cost.
I like that. You know the price before you even get in the car. What happens after I see the estimate?
You confirm that you want to book the ride. The app then sends you a request to nearby drivers. When a driver accepts your request, the app will show you very important information about them.
What kind of information?
It will show you the driver's name, their photo, the type of car they are driving, like a blue Toyota Camry, and most importantly, the car's license plate number.
That seems very useful for safety.
It is. When the car arrives, you must check that the license plate number and the car model match what is in the app before you get in. This ensures you are getting into the correct car with the correct driver.
And the driver already knows my destination because I typed it into the app, so I don't need to say anything when I get in.
You don't have to, but it's always polite to confirm. You can say, "Hi, are you here for Ben?" And "We're going to the city museum, correct?" The ride is over, and the driver has stopped the car at your destination. Now it's time to pay.
How do I know how much to pay?
You look at the meter. The final price will be displayed on the screen. This price is called the fare. You can ask the driver, "What do I owe you?" Or, "How much is it?" And they will tell you the amount on the meter.
Okay, the fare is $15. Now I need to actually pay. What are my options?
You can usually pay with cash or a credit card. However, not all taxis accept credit cards, so it is a very good idea to ask the driver before the ride begins. When you first get in the car, you can ask, "Do you take credit cards?"
That is a fantastic tip. Ask before you go. Okay, so I'm paying the fare. What about a tip? This is always confusing for me.
Tipping culture varies greatly from country to country. A tip, also called a gratuity, is a small amount of extra money you give to the driver for good service. In the United States, for example, it is very common to tip your taxi driver about 15 to 20% of the fare.
So if the fare is $10, a tip would be around $1.50 to $2.
Exactly. In many other countries, tipping is less common. People might just round up the fare. For example, if the fare is €8.50, you might just give them €9 and say, "Keep the change." The best advice is to research the local tipping custom before you travel.
Rounding up seems like a simple way to do it. After I've paid, is there anything else?
If you need it for work expenses, you can ask for a receipt. The phrase for this is, "Could I have a receipt, please?" After that, you just say thank you, get out of the car, and you're all set.
So that covers traditional taxis. But today, many people use apps on their phone, like Uber or Lyft. How is that different?
Rideshare apps are a bit different, but they use a lot of the same vocabulary. With an app, you don't hail the car, you book a ride directly from your phone.
And you put your destination into the app before you even book, right?
Correct. You set your pickup location, where you are, and your drop-off location, where you are going. The biggest difference is that the app will show you the upfront price before you confirm the ride. There is no meter. The price is already set.
So you know exactly how much you will pay. That's a nice feature.
It is. But you should also be aware of surge pricing. This is when the app charges a much higher price because it is a very busy time. The app will always tell you if surge pricing is active. Payment is also different. It's handled automatically through the credit card connected to your account. And tipping can be done through the app after the ride is over. Now that we've covered the whole journey, let's practice some of the most important vocabulary words.
This is the best way to make sure these words stick in your memory. We will say the word, explain the meaning simply, and then you'll hear 3 real-life examples.
Let's start with our first word, hail. Hail.
Hail.
To hail a taxi means to signal for an available taxi on the street to stop for you.
Yes, it's the action of raising your arm to get a driver's attention. Here are 3 examples of how to use hail. Example 1. It's starting to rain. Let's try to hail a taxi quickly. Example 2. We stood on the corner for 10 minutes trying to hail a cab with no luck. Example 3. It's very difficult to hail a taxi during rush hour. 2. Fare. Fare. Fare.
The fare is the official price of the taxi ride. It's the amount of money that the meter shows at the end of the trip.
Exactly. It's the cost of your journey that you have to pay to the driver. Here are 3 examples of how to use fare. Example 1. The fare from the airport to my hotel was about $40. Example 2. What is the approximate fare to get to the city center from here? Example 3. The driver told me the final fare and I paid him with my credit card. 3. Meter. Meter. Meter.
The meter is the machine inside the taxi that calculates the fare. It measures the distance and time of your ride.
That's right. You should always make sure the driver turns on the meter at the beginning of the ride to ensure a fair price. Here are 3 examples of how to use meter. Example 1. As soon as we started driving, I noticed that the driver had forgotten to turn on the meter. Example 2. The traffic was so bad, I could just see the numbers on the meter going up and up. Example 3. Could you please start the meter for me? 4. Tip. Tip. Tip.
A tip, also known as a gratuity, is a small amount of extra money you give to a service worker, like a taxi driver for good service.
Yes, it's not part of the official fare. It's an optional extra payment, but it is expected in many cultures. Here are 3 examples of how to use tip. Example 1. The driver was so helpful and friendly that I gave him a generous tip. Example 2. In my country, it is not customary to leave a tip for a taxi driver. Example 3. The fare is $18. Should I add a 15% tip? 5. Drop-off location. Drop-off location. Drop-off location.
The drop-off location is the exact place or address where your taxi ride ends. It's your final destination.
Right. It's the place you tell the driver you want to be dropped off. The place where the ride begins is the pickup location. Here are 3 examples of how to use drop-off location. Example 1. When you book an Uber, you have to enter your drop-off location into the app. Example 2. My drop-off location is just in front of the big blue building. Example 3. Please tell the driver the correct drop-off location so we don't get lost. Section 6. Final recap.
And that's our vocabulary practice for today. You have all done a wonderful job.
We have covered everything from hailing a cab on the street to tipping the driver. I think our listeners are ready to navigate any city.
I think so too. A quick quiz, Ben. What do you call the price of the taxi ride?
That's the fare.
Perfect. And what is the action of raising your arm to stop a taxi?
That's to hail a taxi.
You've got it. The most important things to remember are to be clear about your destination, make sure the meter is on, and know the local tipping customs.
And always prioritize your safety. Only use official licensed taxis or reputable rideshare apps.
And that is all the time we have for today on English Earwaves. We hope this episode helps you get where you need to go with confidence.
Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more helpful episodes on a real-life English. You can also find a full transcript of today's show on our website.
Thanks for listening.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.